We're live.
Oh, hi. I'm just seeing if we're live in the Facebook group. Hello, everybody. Let me just check. This is the first time I have used StreamYard, and I haven't even used it. The incredible Tamara has set this up. So I'm fully surrendering to this moment and hoping it hasn't come through on the Facebook group yet. Yes, it has. That is so strange. So I'm surrendering to this and the universe of Tamara, that the incredible Tamara set StreamYard up for us on Facebook. So if you are watching, can they be watching through StreamYard as well, or will they only be watching through Facebook?
They'll be watching on the Facebook, yeah.
Okay, so say hello in the chat if you are joining us live. It's very weird because I'm like looking down and I can see us, and then I can see us up at the screen. It's amazing. Thank you so much for being here. I am so excited to dive into this conversation about EFT. For you to share your incredible wisdom, how you can take us mamas from frazzled to fabulous in a very short space of time, because everything I teach, and as a conscious mum, as an empowered woman, as the leader and CEOs of our lives, it is about working with the pockets of time that we have. And so the fact that actually you have got this incredible modality and technique that we can use to incorporate in, because a lot of us in this group, there are a lot of unschooling mums, a lot of unschooling families. So we've got our children with us all the time. So we're really having to find that time wherever it is. So thank you so much for being here. I can't see any comments yet, and I'm not sure if anyone can see is watching live. But if you are watching or live, say hello. If you're watching on replay, then hashtag replay. Welcome, Tamara. You EFT guru, I put you down as. I don't know how you like to be introduced, but welcome.
Thank you so much. A lovely warm welcome. And I've just been tapping under the table because getting StreamYard working at the 11th hour has been a little bit stressful, but here we are. So shall I just start with
dive in? I had to,
something?
so firstly, just for everybody, because we're obviously in the Parenting by Human Design group, for everybody that is like a little bit deeper into their journey, Tamara is a 4/6 manifesting generator with emotional authority. So the energy type that for Tamara is manifesting generator. Her authority, which is how she goes about making aligned decisions, is riding out that emotional wave. There's no right decision in the now. So this is for you as an emotional authority, for me as an emotional authority, for your children if they've got emotional authority. There is absolutely no right decision in the now, and it's about allowing yourself to come back to neutral before you make decisions. And Tara's profile is a 4/6. Tamara's profile, sorry, is a 4/6. And what I noticed, Tamara, when I looked at your body graph, and what I loved, and some people within the group are going to sort of probably understand this, is that you've got a particular activation in your body graph, which is the 34-20 channel. So you're here to respond to this sacred life force energy that you have, which is what you did when I invited you to come and talk about EFT into the group. It's that hell yes, and if something isn't a hell yes, it's trusting the hell no. And then also you are really here as this incredible, like, powerful manager with manifested traits to be able to create and initiate and to really bring things to life. So the fact that you've brought EFT into this incredible way of teaching, and your book that you'll share with us at the end, and how we can go from frazzled to fabulous, is just wonderful. So I'm going to hand over to you. Tell us all about what is EFT and how does it help and support us parenting and with our kids.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for that human design introduction. I love it. I'm so appreciative. Thank you so much. So what is EFT? So EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. It's also known as tapping. It's like acupuncture for emotions without the use of needles. So no needles, nothing to be scared of. All we're going to be doing is tapping on the points that if you were to visit an acupuncturist, that's where they would be putting the needles. And these points are on the body. The points that we tap on are mainly on the face. And we use these points because they are all connected via energy lines called meridians. And these energy lines, if you like, are like garden hose pipes, but instead of water flowing through, we have energy flowing through. Now, if you have a kink in a garden hose pipe, the water doesn't flow through. If you have a kink in the energy line, the energy won't flow through. And when we have negative emotions, anxiety, stress, overwhelm, guilt, anger, it causes these kinks in our energy lines. And when we tap on these various points, it has the effect of straightening out those energy lines, and the emotions themselves diffuse. Now, if you're not into acupuncture or something slightly woo-woo, then another way of explaining it is that the good news is there's been loads of research that has been done, and it for those of you who are in the UK, you might be familiar with the NICE guidelines that are part of the NHS. EFT is at the point of almost being recognised. Well, it has been recognised by the NICE guidelines, but they're just asking for more research to be done around the area of PTSD. So that's very, very exciting.
So
But
powerful, isn't it? So powerful. And actually, everybody here in this group is holistic. So everybody knows and recognizes that everything is energy. Human design is that roadmap and blueprint. So actually, when you're talking, I'm just like, yes, it's just music to our ears, because we are all vibrating at a certain frequency. Humans at a much higher frequency. And the fact that you're going to share this incredible way that we can, like you say, pull out the kinks. I just love you, and I love the way that you describe that. It's just so powerful.
Thank you. But for those who might want a more conventional explanation, it's been shown to have a calming effect on the amygdala in the brain, which is the part of the brain which is responsible for the release of cortisol, which is the stress hormone. So just by tapping on these points, you are sending calming messages to your brain to calm down. And we can do this with our children. And I hope that there'll be an opportunity to talk about how we can bring that to your children. So that's basically what EFT is in a nutshell. Shall I go on to say why I use it?
I was just looking at hi to Claire, who's watching live. Just seeing a little comment here. So thank you so grateful for you being here. But yeah, feel free to carry on, because I'm just as much like absorbing and listening to this and just thinking, wow,
fantastic. So the reason that I bring it into the arena of mums is because I know, being a mum myself, is there isn't much time, and there is so much to juggle all the time. There's children, there might be work, most of you are homeschooling, so juggling the homeschooling, trying to work for some of you, home, trying to tidy up, never-ending to-do lists, and there is so much. And then for those of us who have partners, there's also we want a good relationship with our partner, we want a good relationship with ourselves, with our children, and it just takes up all the time. So the good news about EFT is that it's often really, really fast. And a few years ago, I decided that I was going to run a challenge for mums. And I've been an EFT practitioner for many years and trainer, but I decided I was going to run a challenge, and I gave them a daily tapping video, a daily EFT video to watch for 30 days. And I said to them, if you do this, you'll regain your calm, enjoy your kids, and get more done. When 200 mums signed up and they followed through this, what blew me away was not only did they regain their calm, enjoy their kids, and get more done, but it impacted every aspect of their lives. So they were saying things like, I've stopped eating chocolate or having that glass of wine at the end of the day. And we didn't tap on wine or chocolate. My partner's been asking me what I've been doing because I seem so happy. So there's external recognition of the changes that are happening to the mums. Period pains disappearing, other aches and pains disappearing. And again, we didn't work on aches and pains or period pains. It was just a byproduct. In fact, one mum just told me recently that she had the most severe migraines that used to be so debilitating, I think 2 or 3 times a month, in bed for about 3 days. And when she started the daily tapping, they just went.
Wow.
I mean, it's just incredible.
So powerful. And actually what's coming through as you're sharing, and I hope it's all right to mention, is that when you are looking at your child's body graph, or when we're looking at our own body graphs and understanding our energy, if you've got a lot of openness within your body graph, so if there is a lot of white, like white chakras, if you are a projector, a manifestor, a reflector, you are going to be a lot more open to receiving to conditioning and to other people's doubts, other people's emotions, other people's fears, depending on what gates you've got sort of defined or undefined. And actually then being able to use something like this, having that awareness with your human design, your body graph, and with your child, and then actually knowing this is how you can move through these energy, these emotions that are coming up, isn't it? And then being able to come at the end, like you say, with this external things as well. You don't necessarily tap about the wine and chocolate, but because of what is happening with the brain and the nervous system and all of the connection with the mind body, it's just so incredible, isn't it, that actually there's something out there that's really, really simple, really easy to use, and something that doesn't take a lot of time. You don't have to worry about carving out 30 minutes for a meditation. This is something that we can use and implement now.
Wow, that's so fascinating. And I love that you brought all that in. I'm so intrigued by understanding more. Thank you. I don't know if you can see this comment, but someone said I'm a projector mum with lots of white in my chart. So confirming probably what you've just said. So
I can't see that. Oh yeah, with Claire. Yeah, because where we have the white within our body graphs is where we're going to be absorbing the characteristics of those chakras. So if someone, for example, has got a white solar plexus within their body graph, they're going to be absorbing other people's emotions and then amplifying them, and they'll feel even bigger. But the work that I am very much about doing is empowering people and their children to become the sieve, so that people can let go of things that aren't theirs to hold on to, rather than being the sponge. And obviously, until people have this awareness, they wouldn't necessarily know that. But everybody's here in this group, we're sharing this message. And actually the work that you're going to do and that you're going to share with us, with taking us through an EFT practice, is what is going to allow us to release and to be that sieve and to not hold on to things, so that we can show up as our true self, so that we can thrive. So it's so powerful.
Fantastic. So should we jump in and have a go?
Yes, please. And you're going to have to tell me, what would you like me to do?
So I will tell you, but I'd like you to be my echo. So what that will mean is that so tapping involves not just tapping on the various points in the body, but also repeating the words. So if you be my echo and repeat my words on behalf of the people in the group, then they can be repeating them at home as well. So that would be lovely. Now, some of you may have noticed that I put a poll in the Facebook group, and when I looked, at least, it said that the highest stress point was procrastination from overwhelm of the never-ending to-do list, which I totally get. Definitely something that can be very challenging. So for those of you watching live, it would be really nice if you could type in the comments the kinds of things how that makes you feel. So when I talk about procrastination from the overwhelm of the never-ending to-do list, when you think about that overwhelm, is it stress? Is it anxiety? Is it paralysis? And where do you feel that in your body as well? And Steph, if you want to just take part and enjoy it as well, you can think about what comes up for you in that area as well, if you'd like to. So just think about that. If you want to, type it in the chat, because then I can actually incorporate it into the tapping that we're doing, so it will be more personal for you. So I feel it in my head and it makes me tired. Thank you. I actually can't see the name of whoever that is, but I don't know if you get that. But for me, it's just it says Facebook user, so I don't know.
Now I've come up twice. Oh, see,
it says Facebook user.
Hold on.
So
no.
I don't know.
Oh no, now we've got an echo. No, I was trying to say, I think I can see who it is, but then I hit the wrong button. So we'll just have to come back to and thank the person at the end who, I think it's Claire, but I'm not so sure.
Brilliant.
And I definitely like, for me, see, it's going to keep coming on now. I notice it in my shoulders is often where I can feel tension. And I was going to say my stomach, but because I've sort of healed, I used to have IBS for years, but I healed that through connecting with spirit and stuff like that. But it can still, oh, hi, it's Sam. Thank you, Sam. There's obviously a lag between what I can see on my phone to what's coming up on the computer. But I think it can show up in different parts depending on what's been triggered. And that's, again, a lot of the work that we do is recognizing that I always say our children are our greatest teachers because they can trigger us on a daily basis. Like I hold my hands up to that. The part of becoming that conscious parent is having that awareness, so that actually, rather than, I always like to use the SOS, step back, observe, step in method. But this can be such an incredible thing we can do as part of our step back and observe before we step back in, or project, because we're human beings, aren't we? We feel this emotional response within our body. It's so easy to then, because of not just that, but our ancestral bloodline, our conditioning, we are breaking down old paradigms and old ways of being and almost demembering to remember our truth, aren't we? And these modalities that we can use. And this is that just supports you with this awareness that actually when something comes to the surface, we get to consciously shift through that in a supportive way. So someone's, put migraine.
Yeah.
That's quite a common thing as well for projectors. So I'd be interested to see. I know one of my clients, she always used to say to me before she would go into, because the projector's aura is so open and penetrating, and a projector would literally walk into a room and being able to like sense what is going on without anybody needing to talk to them. And especially if you think like with the family dynamic and with your kids, they could wake up, you could wake up, and you could just tell there's different energies coming up. And actually, this would be a really powerful way of supporting that. I'd be interested from your point of view from EFT. Is it something that you can incorporate to protect your energies? Or is it more something that you can do to release if you've had an emotional response in the body?
I love that question. Absolutely protect. The versatility of EFT is just so powerful. So you can use it to feel better about something or to protect yourself, to create that protection in whatever shape or form is right for you, but also to release the uncomfortable feelings as well. So it's a mix. It's a mix of both, really.
Wow.
So we've got migraines, neck pain. Great. Thank you so much for sharing. So tuning into where you feel in your body and then tuning into the emotion. So we've got the procrastination, overwhelm, but what is the feeling? Is it stress? Is it anxiety? And if you want to share that, that would be really great as well.
While people are sharing, mine feels, it's like for me, again, with my solar plexus defined, I can feel like my stress bucket is like going to explode. All of a sudden, it can just, someone's put here, anxiety. I'd be interested on your perspective, because I say that anxiety is the word, and below the anxiety, that's a name for a set of emotions and feelings waiting to be acknowledged and worked through. But nowadays, it's the word that so many people resonate with, isn't it? And actually, it's looking at what's below the surface of that. But yeah, it's really helpful for those that are sharing.
Yeah, no, I do totally agree, but I just kind of throw in anxiety because
it is what people recognize with, and like that word depression, I think everything's got a word, has got meanings behind it, hasn't it? But it's actually looking at, that's what people can identify with. And sometimes I've even like noticed that feeling in my body, and someone can ask you and I'm like, I don't really know. If you want to give it a name, you would probably say it's anxiety, but there's stuff that's like triggered those physical sensations within the body. So yeah, it's
exactly.
really good.
Okay, so thinking now about your to-do list right now, thinking about how overwhelming it is. So big neck and shoulder pain. Sounds like there's tablets don't help. Okay, so it sounds like there's a lot of pain for people, and that's really interesting. So we can kind of bring some of that in as well, like working on the pain. But thinking about that never-ending to-do list, what you've got on it today, maybe you've got a to-do list in front of you that you can look at and tune into those feelings and rate those feelings now on a scale from 0 to 10. So 10 is the most intense of the feelings, and 0 is feeling calm, light, and peaceful. So again, you might want to put it in the Facebook chat. It's absolutely fine if you don't, but do make a note of it, even if you're not sharing it. So I think what we're going to do now is just launch straight into some tapping. And Steph, if you want to feed in anything that is coming up for you, then I can also bring that in to, actually, we're going to need to move that down a bit so that you can see. So let me talk through the points. So we've got the top of the head, we've got the beginning of the eyebrow, and you can use both hands, one hand, either hand. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you cross over the body, but it's the beginning of the eyebrow with a couple of fingers, and then the side of the eye, the end of the eyebrow, and then under the eye, and then under the nose, under the lower lip. I'm just going to call it the chin point, but it's just below the lower lip. Now the collarbone point is actually an inch below the dip of your neck and an inch across. But if you can't find it, just don't worry. Just use the whole palm of your hand slightly to one side. And finally, we're going to do under the arm, which is on the bra strap or parallel to the nipple for men. But I know we're mums here, so completeness. So let's start with some tapping. Did I talk about the side of the hand as well? No. So we're going to start with the side of the hand. And again, either side, it doesn't really matter. So if you're willing, Steph, just repeat after me. So even though I've got this overwhelming to-do list.
I've got this overwhelming to-do list.
And I don't know where to start.
And I don't know where to start.
And I keep procrastinating.
And I keep procrastinating.
And I can feel it in this part of my body.
And I can feel it in this part of my body. I can feel it in my shoulders.
Thank you. And, you know, when I say this, everyone else can, you know, say their own. And I'm acknowledging how that makes me feel.
And I'm acknowledging how this makes me feel.
And I soothe and comfort myself.
And I soothe and comfort myself.
And even though there's so much to do today.
And even though there's so much to do today.
And I'm constantly chasing my tail.
And I'm constantly chasing my tail.
And it's stressful.
And it's stressful.
Makes me feel anxious.
Makes me feel anxious.
And it gives me so many aches and pains.
And it gives me so many aches and pains.
I acknowledge that that is what's there for me right now.
I acknowledge that that is what is there for me right now.
And I'm open to the possibility.
And I'm open to the possibility.
Of being curious.
Of being curious.
Of how that might change.
Of how that might change.
And tapping now through the points, top of the head. All of this stress.
All of this stress.
Eyebrow point. All of this overwhelm.
All of this overwhelm.
Side of the eye. All of this anxiety.
All of this anxiety.
Under the eyes. When I think about how much there is to do.
When I think about how much there is to do.
And under the nose. It's a never-ending list.
It's a never-ending list.
On the chin point. It's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
And the collarbone point. I don't know where to start.
I don't know where to start.
And I'm aware of where I feel it in my body.
And I'm aware where I feel it within my body.
And I'm aware of how it makes me feel.
And I'm aware of how it makes me feel.
And emotions are only energy.
And emotions are only energy.
And energy can move.
And energy can move.
So I wonder if this emotion can move.
So I wonder if this emotion can move.
And as you're saying these words, just notice if any resistance comes up to those words and just allow any resistance to be there fully. And as you tap on the chin point, take a deep breath in now. My to-do list.
My to-do list.
There's so much on it.
There's so much on it.
And if there was one tiny action.
And if there was one tiny action.
that I could take right after this call
that I could take right after this call
that is easy and effortless,
that is easy and effortless,
that wouldn't take more than a couple of minutes.
that wouldn't take more than a couple of minutes.
It would be, and just notice to yourself what comes up for you. And if like your brain's gone into overwhelm because there's so much, just acknowledge that too. But if something comes up for you, just notice what that one tiny, tiny little thing is. And breathe into that now. Seeing it as already done. One tiny little thing. And say transform. Take a deep breath.
Transform.
So that's just a tiny little introduction to EFT. And if there's time, we can do another round. But let's just check. I want to just check in, and I just want to talk about what might be happening. So,
wowzers! I feel emotional.
oh,
Everyone knows in this group, I'm very like heart of my sleeve. This is who I am. But I feel really like emotional.
oh. So
I'd love to know how everyone else is feeling. We'll have to see in the comments.
Yes. So let me talk through what might happen. So first of all, rate the intensity of the emotion that you are rating on a scale from 0 to 10 right now. And the hope is that that intensity will have gone down, it will have reduced, but sometimes it may actually go up. And the reason it goes up is because we've been rushing around like headless chickens, and then suddenly we're sitting and we're actually focusing on the things that we're trying to avoid focusing on. And it's like, whoa, there's so much. So if that's the feeling, then repeat, go back to the beginning of this tapping, repeat it again, and it will go down. Sometimes there'll be absolutely no change whatsoever. And when that happens, there is lots that I could say about that, but it's kind of beyond what we're going to talk about today. But if there's no change, please do reach out to me. But other sensations that you might notice, as Steph said, she noticed emotions arising. That's really common. It's okay. Don't judge those emotions. Okay, so we've got here feeling relaxed. I actually feel light and tingly. That was just what I was going to come to. Sometimes you can feel more relaxed. Sometimes there's tingling, lightness. Sometimes there's more energy. Sometimes there's more tiredness, especially if you've been holding the stress and you suddenly release it. That can bring on waves of tiredness, but that's okay as well. So those are the different experiences that people may be having. And it's so lovely that so many of you are sharing. And Steph, thank you. Is there anything else that you'd like to say that came up for you?
No, just I guess the only thing that came up for me during that session, and this is me being really vulnerable, is an area that I have noticed within my body before that can become tense. I get like this pain in my chest. And do you know what? I'm going to talk about it because there may be other mamas watching this that are like, yep, I felt that. That wasn't there before, but that came up during, and it almost feels like that stitch type feeling in my chest. But afterwards, the emotion was there, but it felt like this release, and I felt like the full body goose pimples, which is my splenic hit telling me like this is so much in alignment. But yeah, I know you said about like with the physical, like with the how I felt the emotion, but can the physical thing come up too? Because we've maybe been carrying that subconsciously, and then this has brought this to the
I'm so glad you shared that, because absolutely. Sometimes there can be like different pains arising when you actually tap. So just on a scale from 0 to 10, that little pain right now, what number would you give it?
An 8, quite high.
Okay, well, are you up for doing some tapping on that pain?
Yeah, I'm being really vulnerable now. If everybody is happy to receive this, I think it would be good, because I think so often, especially social media, there's a lot of people as well that run their own businesses. We're made to feel like we should be acting a certain way and that we have to carry ourselves. But I call BS on everything. I'm very much about breaking down old rules and old beliefs and creating what's right for us. And I think it's okay. Everything we feel is welcome and valid. And actually how we move through this and how we transform is by honoring. And for me, like honoring this feeling, that's physical feeling that's coming up, rather than trying to suppress it or press it away or push it away. So I'm here for this.
Fantastic. Thank you. And thank you for being vulnerable and so brave as well. So as we're tapping with Steph, if you watching, tap along with us and just know and trust that whatever you're working on is actually resolving while we're tapping with Steph. And it's called in EFT borrowing benefits. So we're tapping on Steph's issue, but we're all benefiting. Okay. So can you describe that pain to me? That's an 8 out of 10 right now.
Like a stitch when you're a child and you do a work and you get that stitch feeling in your body. It's like a stitch underneath my breastbone in like my rib cage area.
Thank you. And which side is it on?
My left side.
Thank you. And if that stitch feeling had a color, what color would it be?
Green.
Thank you. And if it had an emotion, what would the emotion be?
Anger.
Thank you. You're doing really well. Thank you so much. Let's tap. So even though,
And I'll say this out loud, yeah?
yeah, please.
Even though
I have this green angry stitch
I have this green angry stitch
underneath my breastbone
underneath my breastbone
on my left side,
on my left side,
I acknowledge that pain.
I acknowledge that pain.
And I'm open to the possibility.
And I'm open to the possibility
Of being curious about it.
Of being curious about it.
And tapping through the points. This stitch.
This stitch.
It's green anger.
Is green anger.
It's on my left side.
It's on my left side.
Underneath my rib cage.
Underneath my rib cage.
And I'm curious about it.
And I'm curious about it.
Green anger.
Green anger.
And on the next point, if that stitch, if you had to say how big it was, like, I don't know, the size of a pea or the size of an orange or 5 centimeters or however you want to describe it, what would you say?
A cave.
A cave. It's a cave.
It's a cave.
And what is the cave also green or is it
dark, like dark brown, black?
Dark brown, black cave. And how big is that cave?
Enough to fit quite a few people in. A big cave.
It's a big cave. And it's dark.
And it's dark.
It's brown, black.
It's brown, black.
And it's big enough to fit a few people in it.
And it's big enough to fit a few people in it.
This stitch.
This stitch.
On the left side.
On the left side.
Below my rib cage.
Below my rib cage.
It's like a big cave.
Is like a big cave.
And just say transform and take a deep breath.
Transform.
So tuning in now to that stitch, is it the same, better or worse? Is it still an 8? Is it less? Is it more?
It's like a 3. Oh, I feel really emotional. It's like a 3. It's it's nearly, gone.
Wow. And the anger, what level is the anger now?
Yeah, no, that feels released. I feel like that shifted physically. I think if I didn't have my bra on, it would be gone completely. But to be honest, that's why I'm trying to shift from, I usually go braless. That is so powerful. I just feel full body goose pimples again and calm and like I can breathe through it. Like whereas before it was a real tightness. Yeah.
And do you get a sense that you could release it fully, or do you get a sense that there's there's any blocks to releasing it fully right now?
Probably
Just
right now,
intuitively.
yeah, releasing, not able to release fully.
Okay. So we don't have to do this online, but a question, and this is for everyone else, if you don't feel able to release something fully right now, if there was a reason why you couldn't let a little bit more of that go, and you don't have to answer this out aloud, but just for yourself, what would that reason be? And see what comes to you. And then once you've got the answer, you can tap on, even though I can't release this fully right now because I acknowledge that that's how I feel. I can't release this. Do you want to just tap on, like, I can't release it fully right now?
Yeah.
Does that, or do you
release it fully right now? Yeah, I'm comfortable with this. And so I'm just reading someone's comments saying that their headache's gone.
Oh, fantastic. I can't release this fully right now.
I can't release this fully right now.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
I'm safe and I'm okay.
I'm safe and I'm okay.
And it's okay to release this in my own time.
And it's okay to release this in my own time.
In my own way.
In my own way.
And I'm open to the possibility.
And I'm open to the possibility.
Of knowing and trusting.
Of knowing and trusting.
That it will continue to release.
That it will continue to release.
As I go about the rest of my day.
As I go about the rest of my day.
Without me even focusing on it.
Without me even focusing on it.
And just, if there was a healing colour that you would like to infuse into it, what would that be?
Orange.
Infusing orange energy.
Infusing orange energy.
Into that area of my body.
Into that area of my body.
Healing and soothing it.
Healing and soothing it.
Knowing and trusting that all is well.
Knowing and trusting that all is well.
And say transform and take a deep breath.
Transform. Wow.
So how are you doing?
Feels like a 1. There's just this tiny bit, and it's probably, if I'm being in like total integrity, because I'm live and I probably right now just want to release through crying, because it feels so like this feels massive. And reading these comments as well, which I was trying to switch off of while I was doing it, but just amazing. Like, yeah, I knew when we spoke, I think we met through Parenting, was it Parenting Business Connections?
Yeah.
Like, I just happened to turn on, I think, didn't I, do one of your sessions? And I think that's the thing I would say to everybody, and like you have said, but to remind people that you get to flip the words. If it's not procrastination over the to-do list, I've literally got, I cannot get rid of the goose pimples, which is amazing, like amazing. And guys, this is the other thing. This will, when you do this sort of work, this is just going to continue to activate all of the gifts that you have within you. So if you've got like your spleen defined within human design, this, you get a real physiological response. And mine has always been goose pimples. But when I first started experimenting with human design, there was nowhere near to the level it is now. Whereas now, like literally, even my nipples, like everywhere, I've got like goose pimples right down to my toes, my legs. And this is the power of doing this, having this awareness with your body graphs, your child's information, and then using modalities like this to support you with emotional regulation, with your nervous system. Just, yeah, sorry, I think I digressed because I just feel really passionate about the work that you do. But yeah, thank you.
I'm just blown away by your feedback, especially as you're tying it into the human design. That sounds absolutely fascinating. So one thing that I found is that mums, I know mums don't have much time. And as I said, EFT is, you know, I mean, I know we spent a bit of time on that, but you can get it down to, you know, 5 minutes. And that's what my book, Frazzle to Fabulous in 5 minutes a day, is all about. It's about literally tapping for 5 minutes a day. Now, you're probably going to think, yeah, I haven't got time to read a book. And I understand that. The good news about this book is that you just leave it in the toilet. And I know that some mums don't have like private time in the toilet because the kids are coming in. But if you can find 5 minutes on once a day out of your 1,440 minutes that you have for yourself, and if you can use that time to actually start calming your nervous system, so that you will be able to get your to-do list done, so that you will be more present with your children, so that you will be able to think more logically and clearly, because when we're stressed, we can't think clearly. And the byproduct is that, you know, your aches and pains will start to, you know, hopefully start dissolving, and in all the other benefits. Now, in this book, I've got like a little challenge, a 30-day challenge. So each day, like it says day 16 there, I think, there's a little tapping script. So you literally, if you can't be bothered to read the book, you just skip to the tapping script. So that's about getting it right. You just tick, tick, and then you just do that one. And if you're not into books, and the whole of the book or all the tapping scripts are also on a little program on the computer, so that you can just upload those videos, and then you don't have to read them. You can just tap along with me as well. So you've got a couple of options there if you wanted to take it further. But I would definitely give it a go. Just give it a go. You've got nothing to lose. You've got tapping video that you can watch in this group. Just, you know, even if you do that every day and just see the differences, if you don't want to commit to anything else. The other thing,
difference.
Sorry?
It does make such a difference.
Oh, I'm so pleased. But the reason that I was so motivated to write this book is that once tapping becomes a habit for mums, they can then start using it in their parenting, and it becomes their go-to place in times of stress. So when you're stressed, you're not going to try something new. But if it's your daily habit, as habitual as brushing your teeth, then stress, right, tap. You know, it will just be that default. And mums who have made it their habit, then, you know, can start using it in their parenting and with their children. And I've got so many fantastic stories. You know, I know we haven't got time now, but for mums that have brought it into their parenting and how transformational it is. My daughter's grown up with tapping. She's had it since she was about 5, and the first time I used it with her was we were at the swimming pool, and we were waiting for her swimming lesson, and she's like, "Mummy, I don't want to go swimming." And I said, and I was like very encouraging, all the usual mum things, and she was like, no, I don't want to go, a bit upset. And then I kind of got a bit annoyed, and I said all the things that we don't want to say as mums, like, oh, I've paid for this and you have to go. You know, the kind of stuff that really doesn't work. And then I thought to myself, tapping. So I just did a little bit of tapping, and I said, you know, we tapped on, even though I'm really cold and scared and I don't want to go in the swimming pool, and, you know, whatever the reasons were for her. 5 minutes, she was like, "Mummy, I'm ready for my lesson now." And I was like, wow, that's insane. And you know, she uses it a lot herself now. She's an adult, and she's grown up with it. She's used it for all her exam stress, for passing her driving test. She taps kind of pretty much every day. She's training to be a practitioner as well. So it is very transformational, as you can imagine.
So powerful. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody that has joined us live as well. And Tamara, for you, for the depth that you went through with the things that were coming up, just amazing. And what an incredible tool to add to your toolbox, because it's having these different techniques that we can use. And like you say, this is where my tough love comes in. We are busy mums. We might be running our own business. We might be unschooling, but I'm telling you, you can find 5 minutes in your day. This is my tough love, because I want you to be healthy human beings and live a long life. And that's why I'm so passionate about the work that I teach, and bringing modalities in like this is because this is what it enables you to do. If we don't have healthy bodies, we don't have anything. So this is what can support you in living that holistic life, being able to connect to yourself and to your kids. Like I shared the story this morning, like the number one relationship is the relationship with yourself, and then everything else is the byproduct because of how the brain works. And I love at the beginning, I'm very much about blending science with spirit. It's not all woo-woo stuff. We need the science behind it, don't we? But yeah, so powerful. Thank you so much for being here. How can people connect with you? Obviously, your book they can purchase, is that Amazon?
Yeah, so the book's on Amazon.
Yeah.
If they want to arrange, like, they can email me to have a chat so that I can give them some pointers as to how to make EFT work for them, and I can tell them if they were more interested in knowing more, then reach out to me as well. I think I've posted on this my links, so there's frazzletofabulous.com. With loads and loads of testimonials on the book, so you can see what people say before you embark on anything. If you want to know more about EFT in general, I've got tamaradon.com, and there's heaps of information there about EFT and how you can use it. You can follow my YouTube channel, Tamara Don EFT, lots of tapping videos there as well. So just have a look and see what feels right. But thank you so much, Steph. This has been incredible, and I just absolutely adore your energy, and I love how you wove in all that incredible wisdom. It's amazing, and thank you so much for being so vulnerable and just sharing so much. It's just been the most joyful chat that I've done Facebook Live for a very long time. So thank you.
Double blessing. Thank you very much. And we hope you loved watching it. Let us know, like we say, if you're on replay below. Tamara's in the group, so she'll be able to come back and answer. I'm happy, Tamara, to jump on any questions that arise or answer any questions. And yeah, sending everybody lots of love. And that was perfect timing because the ice cream man's just turned up. 1 second, Poppet. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.